Cyclone alert. Tonight, Kimmy intensifies, becoming a Category 2 storm. The state's north on edge, waiting to see what it does. New COVID cases linked to Australian Open flights, with spoiled tennis stars complaining about quarantine. Free to roam. Rioters thank authorities for letting them into the capital as officials raise fears of a new attack from the inside. Thousands of jobs up for grabs in Queensland and open to everyone. We'll show you how to apply. And we'll exclusively take you inside Queensland's most expensive home.
This is 9 News Queensland.
Good evening. As we go to air, 450 kilometres of Queensland's coast is on Cyclone Kimmy watch. She's packing intense rain and destructive wind. Tonight, thousands of residents are on high flooding alert.
She's not here yet, but she's not far off. Tropical cyclone Kimmy, now a Category 2 system. No monster, but plenty of bite.
Of course, cyclones are unpredictable, so it is still likely that she could cross the coast.
Her expected path has changed a dozen times in the last 12 hours, initially due to hit Port Douglas just after breakfast today, but she turned south, hugging the coastline, threatening towns with strong winds and heavy rain.
We're not ruling out a crossing of Category 2 because there is such a high uncertainty with this system.
Innisfail feeling her presence more than most, forcing preparations into overdrive.
The wind's starting to come up a little bit, so we've got to be prepared. Yeah, but we know what to do.
I think we're just about used to it here, but you just take precautions when you have to.
Just ensuring that our teams are all ready and available in those southern areas now.
Similar story in Cardwell, further south. Locals here not leaving anything to chance.
We don't know, this could end up being intensifying, could go up and down the coast for another week yet, but it's, you've just got to roll with the punches.
After all, they've been through worse. 10 years ago, in January, residents here were preparing for a Category 5 system. It's Yasi.
And it is a scene of utter devastation. These boats have been just tossed around like toys from the fury of Cyclone Yasi.
The damage near unimaginable and absolutely unforgettable.
The destruction was enormous, as you can imagine. There wasn't a leaf left on any tree.
The latest mapping predicts Kimmy will do a U-turn and run parallel with the coast, but that's not necessarily a good thing. If Tropical Cyclone Kimmy doesn't make landfall, there is one big threat. If it hovers off the coast, it will continue to rain like this, and there's no knowing how much will come down. The concern for coastal towns is flooding, and it's concern shared by authorities. Hundreds of thousands from Innisfail down to Bowen tonight on high alert because waters will rise.
There's going to be a lot of rainfall, so of course the key message here is if it's flooded, forget it. If you don't need to be on the roads tonight, don't be on the roads tonight.
Amongst the uncertainty, one thing is certain: this is just the beginning. Although it is just continuing to rain, residents and businesses will be breathing a sigh of relief, but that might be short-lived because, as we've seen across the entire day, this system could quite simply turn on a dime. Something that we do know is that an emergency alert has been issued only in the last hour or so for residents on Palm Island. So, Paul, no doubt a very long night ahead for people there bunkering down.
Stay safe, won't you, Alex? Straight to weather expert Luke Bradnam on the Gold Coast now. And Luke, there's severe storms across the southeast tonight.
Yeah, sure is, PT. We've already seen a car rip through the Darling Downs region earlier this afternoon. Right now it's here on the Gold Coast and in the city where we're seeing some fairly decent rainfall totals. I'll show you the radar in just a moment. Have a look at these shots though. Saw about 60 millimetres of rainfall in parts of the Darling Downs in less than an hour this afternoon. Here on the Gold Coast, rain started about an hour ago. The heaviest is right now, seeing rainfall totals up around 10 millimetres. Similar falls have already occurred in the west of the city around Ipswich, and it basically breaks down like this. If it hasn't rained at your place yet, it is about to. Have a look at the radar. This is from 2 o'clock this afternoon. You can see how big and slow moving this system is. We've seen wind gusts included in this system up around 50 kilometres an hour at times, but it's eerily quiet here at the Gold Coast at the moment, barely a breath of breeze. The northern suburbs of the city haven't been touched yet, but they're about to see some rainfall in the next hour or so. And PT, I'll have all the details on that coming up a little later later in the Bulletin, the very latest on Cyclone Kimmy as well.
Pretty wet, Luke Bradnam. Thank you, Luke. Well, it's looking more likely restrictions and mandatory masks will be lifted on Friday as the COVID hotel cluster continues to be contained. It's given the tourism industry hope of a brighter Easter, though a full recovery won't come anytime soon.
Greater Brisbane no longer a federally designated hotspot, and with no new cases from the Grand Chancellor cluster, no community transmission and just one overseas traveller in hotel quarantine, the city's breathing a little easier, facing the possibility of being unmasked.
It's more than likely that all of those restrictions will be removed by Friday. That would be a wonderful sign, of course, to our economy as well, that things can get back to normal.
It might well deliver an Easter holiday golden egg, boosting the chances of a post-lockdown tourism bounce back.
Hopefully it'll give a lot of confidence to consumers to make that booking, to have the confidence to plan for Easter and take advantage of what's on offer here in Queensland. Despite some optimism, there are warnings the industry will need ongoing federal support when JobKeeper finishes at the end of March.
It's going to take us 3 or 4 years to get back to where we were, but the really good thing about it is the Gold Coast is still the premier holiday destination of choice.
And there are still industry soft spots that could take longer, with so much uncertainty around when our international borders might reopen.
There are some aspects of our industry that are in as much trouble as they were 9 months ago.
Industry and commerce groups say the road ahead is a COVID minefield. One misstep could be a disaster.
If there is going to be longer 3-day, 7-day, 14-day lockdowns or longer, what sort of plans are in place? With JobKeeper ending in March, we really are heading for a cliff.
So March still hangs by a thread. New cases, a new cluster, hotspots, border shutdowns, a ticking time bomb only a vaccine might be able to defuse. Lane Kelcutt, 9 News.
A successful rollout of a COVID-19 vaccine this year will be a game changer, putting Australia among a select group of nations with a growing economy. A new report by Deloitte Access Economics painting a much brighter picture than it did almost 12 months ago.
COVID-19 cooked the economy, but in Australia, its bite has been less bitter than expected.
Fantastic.
A new report by Deloitte says Australia is one of just 5 nations, along with Taiwan, China, Vietnam and Japan, to enter 2021 in a strong position, predicting our economy will grow by 4.4% this calendar year.
So things are worse today than they were before COVID, most notably unemployment. But they're a lot better than we thought they would be.
While jobs are down by around 140,000 on pre-COVID levels, it's expected more than 250,000 Australians will return to work this year.
Jobs are coming back and the economy is picking up as restrictions are eased.
After peaking at 7.5% in July and falling below 7% in November, unemployment is expected to continue gradually heading south. But it's unlikely to return to pre-COVID levels until 2023. Underemployment remains a problem and it's unlikely those with a job will get a pay rise.
One of the lingering victims of COVID will be wage growth in Australia.
This is not a good enough recovery if it leaves people stranded in joblessness or underemployment or on weak wages.
The outlook is based on the assumption that a COVID-19 vaccine will soon be available here as planned and that international borders will gradually reopen this year. The government is seeking more information on the Pfizer jab after around 30 recipients died in Norway.
They're very aged people and they were in the last phases of life.
But the Health Department boss says he's not unduly concerned about the vaccine's safety. As for reopening international borders this year...
It's a big open question. I think the answer is probably no.
Fiona Willan, 9 News.
As the US nears 400,000 deaths from COVID-19, health officials say the death toll will likely reach 500,000 by mid-February. Authorities say the true cost of holiday travel is yet to be seen and warn it'll be a dark few weeks ahead. The UK is now vaccinating 140 people every minute. 3.8 million residents receiving the dose so far. More than half the nation's elderly have been inoculated. The country's on track to have a vaccine available for every adult by the end of September. Despite the cases linked to the Australian Open flights, scores of players have been able to leave their hotels to begin training. The Prime Minister joining the Premier in urging tennis stars to play by the rules.
Fresh air and the first chance to get into the swing of things 3 days after touching down in Australia. While 72 players are in hard lockdown, these are among the lucky ones. Be it in Melbourne or Adelaide, they're now permitted to train or get treatment for up to 5 hours a day after 2 negative tests.
Whilst the event is very important, nothing is more important than making sure that we follow public health advice and keep the state safe.
A majority of players and officials have taken to quarantine well.
That's life. That's life. That's what all the people say.
As they relax and find new ways to stay on top of their game. Social media is awash with tennis types expressing themselves.
We don't actually eat their food because it's my boyfriend.
Now a coach, Aussie tennis legend Pat Cash is among those forced to bide his time in a hotel. While supporting of the Victorian guidelines, he says there's a level of frustration among players.
It makes it really particularly tough for the men who have to sit in the hotel room for 2 weeks and expect to play 5 sets in could be extreme conditions.
World number 1 Novak Djokovic, currently in a 5-star hotel in Adelaide and able to train, has put his gripes to tournament director Craig Tiley. As well as access to more exercise equipment and better food, Djokovic wants players released from hard lockdown on the basis they'd be tested more. He's asked for regular coach and trainer visits and for some players to be relocated into private homes with tennis courts. But the COVID skeptic had no luck. In fact, not even a hint of sympathy.
People are free to provide lists of demands, but the answer is no.
A position backed up by the Prime Minister.
I think it's just time people to follow the rules, do their quarantine, play tennis. They'll get paid well for it. I'm sure they'll put on a great spectacle, and the Australian Open will go ahead.
Elise Cornet has changed her tune. Deemed a close contact and forced into 14 days hard lockdown, she erupted on social media, labelling the measures insane. Today, the French star admitted an unforced error. Your reaction to this tactless comment made me realise what you've been through last year and how much you've suffered. I better have shut my mouth. All 15 charter flights have now touched down here in Melbourne. And while there's still a chance of more positive cases being detected in the travelling contingent, tennis officials say the system is working. But there's still a level of trepidation, especially with so much at stake.
We need to make sure it does not spread because we cannot afford a third wave.
Clint Stanaway, 9 News.
Chilling evidence has been given in day one of Jayden Moria's committal hearing, accused of throwing his girlfriend, Brianna Robinson, from a Southport high-rise balcony in 2013. Megan Gillespie was in Southport Court, and Megan, we've heard the moment the accused killer called 000.
We did, Paul, and it was truly harrowing. Jayden Moria, formerly known as Dan Sheeran, can be heard telling the operator, "I was in the bedroom," and she just ran out onto the balcony, went over the balcony. She threatened to do this before. That was on January 29 in 2013 when Brianna Robinson fell to her death from her 11th floor Southport unit. Now, no one was charged at the time, but police reopened the investigation in 2017, then charging Mr. Moria with murder 2 years later. It's a long time coming for Brianna's family, who've waited 8 years for answers.
We've got a long 10 days to go, and you just want everything to go right and to go into Bree's favour.
8 witnesses were cross-examined today, including neighbours who told the court how they heard arguing and then screaming as Brianna fell. Now, the committal hearing will continue over the next 2 weeks, Paul, as the court determines if Jayden Moria will face trial.
A tragic case. Thank you, Megan. Alarming new footage of the Capitol siege shows rioters ransacking and praying in the Senate chamber, thanking police for letting them in. Defence officials are now vetting members of the National Guard, fearing a possible attack from the inside at the inauguration.
Donald Trump's supporters surge into the Capitol and come face to face with police.
We're outnumbered. There's a million of us out there, and we are listening to Trump, your boss.
Before pushing past into the House's chambers, searching for the country's leaders.
Where the are they?
Then an eerie quiet. Rioters rifling through politicians' desks uninterrupted, taking photos of confidential Senate documents.
There's got to be something in here.
Those scumbags.
claiming they are backed by Republicans.
I think Cruz would want us to do this, so
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we're good.
While also leaving their own notes.
It's only a matter of time. Justice is coming.
Any chance I could get you guys to leave the Senate wing?
We will. I've been making sure they ain't disrespecting the place.
Okay, just want to let you guys know this is like the sacredest place.
Thank you, Heavenly Father, for giving the inspiration needed to these police officers to allow us in this building. Thank you for filling this chamber with patriots that love you and that love Christ. In Christ's holy name we pray.
The scenes of lawlessness leading to the current rollout of National Guard across the country. Soldiers marching in to state capitals.
We go where we're called.
Prepared for armed protests, which today fizzled. Law enforcement outnumbering those hoping to make a point.
We are going to continue protesting it and continue fighting.
The centre of Washington, D.C. is in the process of being locked down for inauguration. Inside the restricted zone here on Pennsylvania Avenue, the flags are out and the welcome banners are up, but there's absolutely no one here to see it, and that's exactly what authorities want for Inauguration Day, as they reiterate their pleas for the public to stay away.
We definitely don't want to see armed troops on our streets, but we do have to take a different posture.
In Washington, D.C., Tim Arvia, 9 News.
There was the music, then the murder. The two phases in the life of American record producer Phil Spector. He would go from guiding the careers of many of the biggest names in pop and rock to prison, where he died from COVID-19.
For a short time, his was the biggest name in music. But for a long time, he will be remembered for the spoken words of an unnamed juror.
We, the jury in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Philip Spector, guilty of the crime of second-degree murder of Lana Clarkson.
Phil Spector helped make pop popular in the 60s, the musical mind behind more than 100 songs. Pioneering the layered audio effect known as the wall of sound. He produced for the Beatles. And Ike and Tina Turner. As his fame grew, so did his hair and an addiction to drugs, alcohol and guns, culminating in the 2003 murder of actress Lana Clarkson inside Spector's Hollywood home.
The police decided not to enter the house as human beings and to protect and serve, but rather as animals.
Spector denied involvement. The trial, televised nationally.
Well, what happened, sir? Spector's response was simply this.
He was sentenced to 19 years in prison, an effective life sentence that ended this morning after he'd contracted COVID-19.
Will little Philip die? I may not believe in God, but I know there's a devil.
Charles Croucher, 9 News.
Caught out tonight, police in a salmon sting, reeling in $4 million of stolen seafood. How it was swindled, the investigation is next. Why road workers have set up lights blasting into southeast homes. How to sign up, from seniors to students. Thousands of jobs up for grabs, no experience needed. And only 9 News has your exclusive private tour inside this record-breaking Queensland mega mansion. Just wait until you hear the price tag.
Australia's best interviewer.
It was my actions that got me into this place.
It wasn't your actions. You're a 15-year-old kid. It's not about you, it's about what he did.
Tracy Grimshaw is back.
Now, because of some randy security guards, we're back to square one then.
On A Current Affair, next. The Millionaire Special Events are here. With a superstar Aussie lineup. And our frontline heroes taking on the world's biggest game show.
The greatest quiz show on the planet is back with prime time special events.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? The special events starts next Monday on 9. Take the
confusion out of buying a bed with BedMatch at 40 Winks. Our exclusive system calculates your support needs so we can find the best mattress from our range of leading brands. BedMatch, only at 40 Winks. Serious about sleep.
Still right to drop them off?
Where were you thinking?
How about Macca's again?
Which one? There's two of them.
If you're facing north, turn right at the one on the left.
Seriously?
Traffic is building up on the freeway, but looks like traffic is flowing freely past the Macca's on Church Street.
Wait! Man, that was so hectic.
Tired of running out of sparkling water? Then get this counterbalance forklift. It can carry truckloads so you never run out. There must be a fresher way. Oh, get a SodaStream and make fresh sparkling water at home whenever you want.
It's the Myer Stocktake sale, and your safety is our priority. With social distancing measures, enhanced cleaning in store, free standard delivery with orders over $49, and a relaxed returns policy. Just some of the ways we're here for you.
My store.
You seem a bit nervous.
I'm in a wheelchair.
Wouldn't you rather be in a kayak?
Hello. Are you okay?
She needs a name.
Penguin. It's okay.
I didn't think I was strong enough.
9 News, brought to you by Penguin Bloom, the inspirational true story starring Naomi Watts, Andrew Lincoln and Jackie Weaver, in cinemas Thursday.
Bright lights are blinding fed-up residents on one street in Bulletin following upgrade works by the state government. A handful of large LED lights are now beaming into homes throughout the night at the new park and ride bay opposite the train station, only turning off with sunrise. The lights, installed as part of construction to the North Brisbane Bikeway, Transport and Main Roads say it's aware of the issue and is working with Queensland Rail to address residents' concerns. 5 people have been charged over a multi-million-dollar salmon sting. Tonight, we can reveal how police busted them swiping Australian seafood.
Running from court with a blazer over his head, his former colleague leaving in less dramatic fashion. Hugh Tan and Anthony Leo Sevi arrested, along with 3 other workers, after something smelt a bit off at a human salmon processing plant.
It seemed the greed was the order of the day, and they went after a lot of salmon very quickly.
It's alleged the group stole 250 tonnes of premium salmon worth $4 million by grading it as waste before selling it to other businesses for the past 6 months.
Other employees saw what took place, and they assisted police with the investigation, as did the company itself.
Police allege the group stole more than 600 of these pallets weighing 400 kilograms each.
Trucks would have gone astray, or other trucks come into the premises to remove pallets. Started the investigation, 2 employees were caught just loading salmon into the boot of the car.
All 5 employees have been fired and will head back to court next month. And police say there could be plenty more to catch. Emma Partridge, 9 News.
Police officers in riot gear have turned water cannons on hundreds of protesters upset at Amsterdam's tough coronavirus lockdown. Police on horseback moved in to break up the protesters, some throwing fireworks and stones. A curfew has been considered for the first time since the pandemic began. Tonight, the government's looking for thousands of workers for new jobs. From seniors to students, they're open to all ages. No experience necessary to earn hundreds more every week. How to sign up? That's ahead. The must-see moment. A paraglider falls from the sky. The incredible survival. We have the full video. Tonight, the push boosting government-funded care for thousands of Queensland seniors, bringing critical help to homes. COVID fire sale bargains are here as Queenslanders get back to the office. Plus, stop and drop. The police punishing COVID rule breakers.
9 News, brought to you by Big W, your one-stop shop for back to school.
Come on, smile. Come on.
one-stop shop to help get them out the door and back to school. Big W, every day's a big day.
Before the return of Australia's biggest social experiment, a grand reunion event like you've never seen before.
Hey! The bitch is back.
One by one, the most memorable brides and grooms
Hello, darling.
are back. With unfinished business. The Married at First Sight Grand Reunion event, Sunday, Jan 31.
It's time, Australia, to wake up to sleep. It's scientifically proven to give us more energy, clearer judgment, and better memory. 40 Winks, serious about sleep.
Sometimes, even the best tenants can cause damage to your investment property that standard building insurance may not cover. Terry Shear, Australia's leading landlord insurance specialist, provides the cover you need for your property and rental income. Have confidence that your investment property is in safe hands.
As a first-time investor, Terry Shear provides the security I need.
Call Terry Shear or go online.
The Stan Original Series Bump is the feel-good smash hit of the summer.
It's baby's first salsa.
And everyone's raving about it, from critics to viewers.
He's the father. She's family.
Discover why Stan's Bump is Australia's favourite new show.
Do you really want to be part of Jacinda's life?
I think I want all of that.
The brand new Stan Original Series Bump, now streaming only on Stan.
The art of the light lunch. Step 1. Open Hans lunch plate with crackers, relish, cheese and delicious meat. Step 2. Eat it? A simple yet lavish light lunch. Hans.
It's actually Hans.
The decorated police sergeant saved by a man named Waxy.
This has kept me alive.
Their incredible bond. A current affair next.
This paraglider has taken the term living life on the edge to a whole new level. Rohith Goda left hanging onto a cliff last night after crashing in strong winds south of Sydney. The terrifying fall captured on camera.
He was scared. He did have all his safety equipment on him, which saved his life. But the fact that he was so high up and he was, just shaken up and in pain, actually.
After a 3-hour rescue effort, the 37-year-old was flown to hospital with a fractured pelvis. But it seems the ordeal hasn't deterred the adrenaline junkie. Rohith says he already has plans to fly again soon. Almost 100,000 elderly and vulnerable Australians are still waiting a year or more for critical care in their homes, with thousands dying while they wait. Long delays in providing the taxpayer-funded home care packages, they come despite billions of dollars in extra funding from the federal government.
The frail and elderly at the mercy of a system that seems to be broken.
The government needs to do more, and it needs to do it quickly.
Taxpayer-funded home care packages provide help with such things as meals, showering and housework. The latest data from the Health Department shows almost 150,000 people had access to a home care package at September 30, up more than 5% in just 3 months. But at the same time, almost 100,000 people were either waiting for in-home help or had been offered a lower level of care than they needed, and most will wait 12 months or more. While these numbers are lower than they were,
it means people not only die waiting for packages, but it means far too many have to go prematurely into residential care or indeed end up in hospital.
The Royal Commission into Aged Care is due to release its final recommendations at the end of next month. In its interim report more than a year ago, the Royal Commission described our aged care system as a shocking tale of neglect. To help fix it, its first recommendation was for more home care packages to be provided to help take pressure off the system and to reduce waiting times, especially for the higher levels of care in the home. The government denies it's not doing enough.
An additional 40,000 packages being offered to senior Australians this financial year alone at an investment of over $2.8 billion.
Eddie Meyer, 9 News.
A bizarre punishment's being handed out to foreigners who refuse to wear masks in Bali. Tourists forced to drop down and do push-ups on the street. Police say 80% of those who don't comply with local health orders are international visitors. A small plane has made an emergency landing near a beachside resort in Florida. A student pilot had been flying the aircraft for about 15 minutes before it suffered engine trouble. The instructor took control and landed. A wing clipped a pole on the way down. No one was hurt. See a high-ranking politician's dramatic airport arrest next. Then, the anniversary of the deadly Granville rail disaster. For the first time in over 40 years, a survivor's meeting his rescuer. We're sharing their story. Must see for all parents and grandparents. The playpens you can't trust to keep your children safe. Sign up in just seconds. No experience needed for thousands of new jobs. And man's best friend who became a copycat.
Debt Buster, the little-known loophole the banks don't want you to know about.
We're slashing the debts by more than 50% in a lot of cases.
A current affair next.
Our dinner, we were expecting it to be a bit flash because we've seen some other people there and they were done up to the nines.
Maybe I shouldn't have rocked a double denim for this place.
Travel Guides Aussie Spectaculars. Starts Australia Day on 9.
Let's get to work. James Jacks, will you look at that?
I told you to pay attention to the road.
Clearly this wasn't my fault. Maybe not, but you've taken a wrong turn on this one. Your insurance policy is monstrous.
You know, if you had Budget Direct car insurance, you'd get a hire car while yours gets repaired. And you could save hundreds.
Are we there yet?
Not at fault. Get a hire car while yours gets repaired. Just give us the other driver's details. Budget Direct. Insurance solved.
It doesn't seem right to leave elderly people with fewer nurses during a pandemic, or any time really, but it doesn't affect me, does it? Please, Prime Minister Morrison, bring in nurse-to-resident ratios. We need to do better by our elderly. One day, it will be all of us.
Authorised BMOL, Queensland Nurses and Midwives Union, Brisbane.
The CSIRO Total Wellbeing Diet is the way to keep your weight down and your spirits up.
I've got so much energy, I love it.
Our successful members lose 3 times more weight with this scientifically proven online program, combining personalised menus, exercises and new positive psychology tools.
Doesn't make me feel like I'm on any type of diet or eating plan at all. I lost 12 kilos in the first 12 weeks and got a full refund.
Be like Adele. Lose weight and get your refund at totalwellbeingdiet.com.
Don't miss our favourite ogre live on stage in Shrek the Musical, starring Ben Mingay, Lucy Durack, Todd McKenney and Marsha Hines. A multi-million-dollar musical that's as funny as the film. Book now at QPAC.
This summer, give breakfast a healthy twist with fresh ideas from Woolworths, like overnight summer oats and fresh stone fruit with macro organic rolled oats 500 grams, dropped to just $2.75. For more fresh ideas, visit woolworths.com.au.
The all-new GWM Ute is up for the challenge. Born tough and built smart to give you more. More features, reliability, comfort and safety for less. The all-new GWM Ute. Go with more.
Gold Coast Cops are back in action and nothing will get past. The Sunshine State's best. New Gold Coast Cops, tonight on 9.
It's a new day, a new year, and what a week to be back as Washington goes into a security lockdown for the inauguration of Joe Biden.
Plus, we have the latest on the Oz Open as hard lockdown affects more superstars of the game. We'll see you from 5:30.
44 years since one of our nation's deadliest days, crowds have gathered to mark the anniversary of the Granville train disaster. Among them, a survivor of the accident and the first responder who saved him. The two men meeting today for the very first time after former paramedic Ken Peterson discovered an old photo taken on the day of the disaster.
I said, "Do you know who the bloke is on the stretcher?" He said, "I think I do." Yesterday he got back to me, said it was Bruce, and this is the first time we've ever met.
The photo that Ken discovered was when I was just first pulled out.
The train derailment killed 83 people and left more than 200 others injured. He spent the last 5 months recovering from a nerve agent attack, and tonight Alexei Navalny is back on Russian soil. As expected, Vladimir Putin's rival was arrested on arrival in Moscow, but the 44-year-old activist insists he's done nothing wrong.
A goodbye kiss and hug from his stoic wife as Alexei Navalny is stopped by police shortly after arriving at a Moscow airport. The Russian opposition leader was holding an impromptu press conference when he was interrupted, then led away. He'd just said this is the best day in the past 5 months. The 44-year-old referring to his near-fatal Novichok poisoning last August, from which he recovered in Berlin. His arrest was no surprise, but his final destination was. The Kremlin critic was due to land at Moscow's Vnukovo airport, where huge crowds of supporters had gathered to greet him. Dozens were arrested before the plane was diverted at the last minute to Sheremetyevo on the other side of the city. The airline cited technical reasons, but Alexei Navalny's press secretary claims the change was because of the turnout. Hours earlier, he was swarmed by reporters when boarding in Berlin. Asked if he was afraid of threats of an arrest from authorities for allegedly breaking the terms of a suspended sentence. This is impossible, he said. I am an innocent man. In the last video posted to his Instagram account, wife Yulia quotes a well-known Russian movie. Bring us some vodka, she says. We are flying home. Only now she's returned home alone while her husband awaits his fate. In London, Ben Avery, 9 News.
Parents are being warned to check the label before buying a children's playpen after 6 were found to pose a significant safety risk. Products from the brands Baby Care, Cuddly Baby, Komodo, Nanny Annie, Toby and Goopamiga were all failed in the latest round of testing by Consumer Group Choice. Fall risk and strangulation hazards were among the major problems. Now, we all know that dogs are man's best friend, but this is taking it to a new level. This man in the UK spent more than $500 on vet bills to find out why his dog was limping. But it turns out nothing was wrong. The pooch was just copying his beloved owner out of sympathy. That is a loyal dog. Kevin Walter's stern discussion with the Broncos. We are live with the exclusive details. Plus, could charges against Payne Haas be dropped? Our Ash gets the jump on arrivals with a little help from her friends. From exercise equipment to white goods, tonight, the COVID fire sale across the southeast. Your tour inside this incredible $50 million record-breaking southeast mansion.
And the rain getting heavier and the wind getting stronger down here on the Gold Coast. A severe weather warning in place for all of southeast Queensland tonight. And up north, Tropical Cyclone Kimmy, now a Category 2 storm. We'll have all the details, the full weather report coming up soon.
The decorated police sergeant saved by a man named Waxy.
This has kept me alive.
Their incredible bond. A current affair next.
Found that extra gear now and he's stepping it up. Amazing stuff.
The most surprising.
We've got the most toxic air in the world at the moment, so it's pretty sad. It's tough.
The most exciting player in the world.
Crowd loving this.
Is this the year for Nick Kyrgios?
In 2011, Queensland felt the impact of the most devastating floods in recent history. Fortunately, Suncorp Insurance was one of the first to include flood cover automatically with our home policies. So we were able to help over 12,000 Queensland families recover. And it's included on all our home insurance today. Knowing you have cover through every storm, that's the Suncorp spirit.
Harvey Norman Summer Sizzlers. Enjoy summer at home with the Archie Fabric Modular Lounge Suite featuring power recliners, storage console and lights for just $2,299. Or the super comfy Gaucho 3-seater fabric sofa with twin powered reclining actions and USB ports, only $1,299. Get a sleek new look with the Gwyn 7-piece dining suite. Huge value at just $999. Plus get 60 months interest free with a bonus gift card. Now at Harvey Norman.
Go! Letting life in is like a wide open door, an invitation to embrace the meaning of more. More laughter, more light, more room just to breathe. More connection, more joy, more reasons to believe. More invention, more creation, more just letting go. More kid time, more us time, letting everything slow. When moments are created from right here within, Brighton is your home to truly let life in.
The art of the light lunch. Step 1. Open Hans lunch plate with crackers, relish, cheese and delicious meat. Step 2. Eat it? A simple yet lavish light lunch. Hans.
It's actually Hans.
3, 1, go!
Discover the art of simplicity at the King's Summer Sale. Save up to 50% on Australian design. So why buy ordinary furniture when you can come home to King? Sale ends soon.
Sonic. Chris Pratt, Denzel Washington, Ethan Hawke.
Dang it, I'm good.
The Magnificent Seven, tonight on 9.
The Broncos have been given a stern reminder tonight about the expectations of the club as Payne Haas's lawyer reveals he'll push for charges against the young forward to be dropped. We'll chat live and exclusively with Kevin Walters in just a moment. But first, to details about how Payne Haas has escaped an immediate sanction for his alleged run-in with police.
Embarrassed, ashamed, remorseful. Believe the Broncos, and that's how Payne Haas felt walking into Red Hill this morning, only weeks after an open heart with management on his overwhelming desire to provide for his new family.
Decisions like the one he made on Saturday night put all that at risk, so there's a real personal lesson that he's learning right at the moment.
Haas escaped suspension, at least for now, and trained as usual, with the club holding out until investigations are complete by police and the NRL Integrity Unit.
And he made some poor decisions and he'll need to face the consequences.
He is accused of using intimidating and defensive language when approached by police responding to this nearby brawl Haas wasn't involved in. He's due in court next month, but Haas's lawyer hopes it doesn't get that far. Tonight, he's planning to have the charges dropped on compassionate grounds, suggesting Haas is still grieving the loss of his brother, was overcome with emotion on the night and being consoled by his wife.
I think the police might have misinterpreted the situation. They've turned up and they've basically surrounded him and it's escalated from there.
Jonathan Hudson, 9 News.
And now we go straight to Broncos coach Kevin Walters. Kevy, you spoke with the players today. What did you tell them?
Oh, just about their responsibility, Wally. Representing this Broncos club, it's a great club, it's a very proud club, and we are disappointed, I've got to say, with Payne's actions on Saturday night. But the positive in all of this is that he's owned up to his error and he's looking to resurrect everything that he can do with what happened, on Saturday night. So we're all disappointed, of course, but we've just got to get on with things and support Payne in every way that we can.
Now, of course, Kevy, Payne Haas has already played State of Origin football. He should be a role model for the younger players around the club.
Well, he should be, Wally. He's still just a kid, though. Let's not forget, he's still only 21 years of age. So although he's played, for his state and for his country and a couple of years at the Broncos, he's still only a young man, still maturing, with himself. So we will support him in every way that we can. We understand that he did make a mistake. He made an error in judgment, on Saturday night. And as I just mentioned, that Payne has owned up to that as well, which is a positive for Payne and the Broncos. We'll get around him and support him and make sure that we're there for him when he needs us.
Now, Kev, discipline has always been one of your targets. It's part of your approach all the way through the season. Surely the players need to make it part of theirs as well.
Well, they certainly do, Wal, and this is something that we have spoken about already. It's not only what the Broncos players when they represent the team and the club on the field, but also more importantly off the field. And their behaviour is something that needs to certainly be of a high standard. And unfortunately, on this occasion, it wasn't. But we're working hard with the players and with everyone involved in the club to ensure this mistake and this error doesn't happen again in the future.
Well, thanks very much for your time, Kevy. I'm sure I speak on behalf of all the Broncos fans and wishing you all the best for 2021. Well, the equation is simple for Australia. They've got 1 day to bowl India out to claim the Border Gavaskar Trophy. The hosts set India a target of 328 for victory, but with rain looming here in Brisbane on the 5th day, the visitors might escape with a draw and the series.
With time Australia's biggest enemy, there wasn't a ball to waste.
Oh, he's creamed it.
Marcus Harris making a positive start, only for an all too familiar downfall, dismissed just as he loomed large.
Oh, is there a glove on it? There's a big appeal and given.
And only moments later, David Warner was also gone. Marnus Labuschagne's time in the middle was certainly eventful.
Once again, Labuschagne over the top using his feet.
But also brief. The number 3 caught behind for a quick-fire 25 as Matthew Wade failed again.
Oh, he's given him.
That duck was his 14th straight innings without a Test half-century, a mark Steve Smith was quickly closing in on.
If you're going to go hard.
After a week of controversy, he was an interested onlooker when Rohit Sharma was shadow batting in the crease. Smith's not without a bit of luck.
Doesn't get enough.
Oh, he dropped him.
Good effort on the rope.
No sooner had he reached his 50 and Smith was out. Tim Payne picking up the slack.
Geez, hit that hard too. Tim Payne.
While the Australians were 7 down when rain forced an early tea break, there would be no early declaration. The hosts batting until they could bat no more.
There's a man on the 3rd man rope, takes the catch.
Mohammad Siraj capping an incredible debut series with a 5-wicket haul. Another downpour soon hitting, leaving Smith to defend the decision not to declare.
We're certainly not weathermen and don't know that it's coming, so you have to play the game as you sort of see it as well.
Also of some concern, a possible hamstring issue for Mitch Starc. Ayrton Woolley, 9 News.
Heat batsman Joe Denley admits his side has been underperforming despite 3 consecutive wins in the BBL.
We've been involved in some really close games and where we haven't been quite at our best, whether it be bat or ball. So hopefully towards this back end we can string a few of really good performances together.
In Melbourne today, the Brit joined fellow Englishman and Scorchers opener Jason Roy for a friendly cup of tea ahead of their clash tomorrow. The Reds will take an almost identical squad into the 2021 season. After a grand final appearance last year, the club has retained 31 players, almost all of them progressing through the Queensland pathway.
It sort of is that conveyor belt. We've got Queensland constantly churning up talent. It's a really proud rugby state, and so it's just up to us to find the best way to use them and to find how they can contribute to our squad.
The Reds host the Waratahs in round 1 on February 19th. And it's not miserable for everyone at the tennis. While some of the international players are doing it tough, our Aussie stars are taking advantage of being on the outside. Ash Barty, Daria Gavrilova and Dylan Alcott were all on court today for long sessions at Xavier College in Melbourne. Melbourne Park facilities are only available to overseas players who aren't in quarantine. And that's all we have in tonight's sport. Paul, I've got to say it's a real thrill to be back from holidays.
Your nose is growing in front of me, Wally. Thank you for being here anyway. Tonight we have your private tour inside one of Queensland's most lavish homes. A European-style chateau on the Gold Coast is up for grabs. The mansion could even break a few sales records for the state with a $50 million price tag.
No, this is not the French Riviera. In fact, it's barely 8 minutes from Burleigh Beach. This European-style chateau in the Talabudra Valley, if anything, is out of place on the Gold Coast. But here it is, and tonight, it's on the market.
It's very regal. The detail, the attention to detail is just amazing.
10 bedrooms, 10 bathrooms, an indoor pool, even a piano room. Even the furniture has been custom-made to match the finishings. The kitchen apparently has never been used.
And is this Australia's most luxurious garage? It's got chandeliers on the ceiling and marble flooring. It actually doubles as a function space with a full butler's kitchen, but right now it's full of Mercedes and Rolls Royces.
To see it for the first time inside was just, it was wow.
Currently owned by Ryu Li, the Chinese billionaire behind the dual development in Surfers Paradise, the mansion is part of a sprawling estate including horse stables, 5 other homes, a pontoon, and perhaps best of all, a decent chip shot over to the Talabudra golf course. 49 hectares, the asking price $50 million for what would be a Queensland sales record.
It deserves to smash it. look the size and everything on offer here. We're asking $1 million a hectare. To me, that's not over the top.
I don't think we'll hope. I think it will get a Queensland record.
Tonight, the agent is already taking offers on the property, but it would most likely suit only a certain type of buyer.
To me, a billionaire.
Brendan Wolfe, 9 News.
Earn hundreds more each week. Tonight, thousands of new jobs up for grabs. All ages needed and no experience necessary with flexible working hours. How you can sign up, the Special Jobs Report is minutes away. First, though, Luke's back with the check-in for the weather. A wet Luke and more rain on the way tomorrow.
Yeah, sure is, BT. More rain tomorrow, but thankfully there is some sunshine on the way, and I've all the details for you coming up next.
Debt Buster, the little-known loophole the banks don't want you to know about.
We're slashing the debts by more than 50% in a lot of cases.
A current affair next.
They've shaken the monarchy to the very core. Fergie and Andrew, the Duke and Duchess of Disaster. Tuesday, 7:30 on 9.
The story of Australia
is the story of me.
It's the story of you.
It's a story of we.
In parts, it is painful.
In parts, it is raw.
In others, it's beautiful.
Inspiring, great awe.
It tells of many people from far and away.
And those who've been here
since the beginning of time.
It brings us together.
And tears us apart.
We all have our views.
So where do we start?
By listening to each other.
And sharing our part.
We're all part of the story. Australia Day.
Priceline Pharmacy's 3-day sale starts tomorrow with 40% off a great range of skincare, sun care and tanning. Plus half price on selected makeup. Our 3-day sale starts tomorrow at Priceline Pharmacy.
Audible is excellent for unwinding in bed with a cuppa.
It doesn't smell like a cup of tea.
Well, it's not tea. It's hard tea. What are you, the tea police?
Download the Audible app and start listening today.
Early Settlers Big Sale just got bigger. Up to 30% off our comfy sofas. Up to 40% off bedroom. Buy the chairs and get the table half price. Buy one table lamp and get one free. Outdoor furniture up to 30% off. Early Settlers Big Sale is now on.
After the bushfires, we were heavily reliant on our online store to get us through, and we knew people wanted to shop with us. We knew they wanted to support us, and we just needed to connect with them. I remembered seeing an email about Grow with Google. So in this email was an invitation to training to help me grow my business. So we realised that there was this whole new way of doing business where we could primarily run online, and I decided to take that big leap of faith, and it's changed our lives.
After 4 decades of world firsts, Mitsubishi brings you an Australian first. 10 years warranty with 10 years cap price servicing. Mitsubishi Diamond Advantage, built and backed for the time of your life.
Is your home running out of space? Time to call Storage King. Visit storageking.com.au and let Storage King give you back some space. Store before the 15th of Feb and get 1 month storage free.
Just $7.95. Bring it in.
To finance, and both the share market and Australian dollar fell today. Here's Chris Kohler.
A disappointing start to the week for stocks. The All Ordinaries down 0.75% following falls on Wall Street. Miners were hard hit today after some weakness in commodity prices. BHP, which is the world's biggest miner, losing almost 3%. But elsewhere, JB Hi-Fi forecast a big profit increase for the first half, and that also seemed to help rival Harvey Norman. And the Australian dollar started the week on the back foot, buying 76.8 US cents, 63.6 euro cents and 56.6 British pence.
Checking petrol prices, the average for unleaded in Brisbane is $1.19, diesel $1.20. On the Gold Coast, the average for unleaded is $1.23. The RACQ says prices are about to rise, so fill up if you see a good deal. It's the COVID fire sale sweeping the southeast. Our first lockdown triggered a huge demand for home fitness equipment, office furniture and other necessities to make staying at home more functional and comfortable. Now we're reselling all those items we no longer need. Free online marketplace Work App has seen an increase of 60% in listings, from cheap exercise bikes to electronics and appliances. Want to earn an extra couple of $100 every week? Well, right now, these are the thousands of jobs on offer right across Queensland. The positions to join the upcoming census team are for all ages with flexible hours, and you don't need any experience.
A snapshot of the nation captured every 5 years.
Every day, every week is a changing landscape in Australia at the moment, so it's difficult to say what we'll see in the census.
The Australian Bureau of Statistics wants help to collect that information, calling on people to fill 26,000 part-time jobs. 5,500 of those are here in Queensland.
People can fit around other things around the census job, but they really need to be available through July, August, September, because that's when we're really busy.
There will be work to do during the day, night or on weekends. Most of the roles needed will be delivering and collecting the surveys. Staff log into an app to track where they need to go and have a panic button if they feel unsafe. Mum Caitlin signed up for a position in 2016 for a bit of extra cash.
I was a teacher's aide, so I'd finish work after school and I'd go for maybe an hour to walking around the street.
The multiple positions on offer will earn you between $25 and $35 an hour. No experience is necessary, but you will need to have access to a vehicle, pass a police check and own a mobile phone. This year's census held on Tuesday, August 10. While all households will receive a paper form, you can also complete the census online.
There is a lot riding on this census, so we need to make sure we get it right.
Expressions of interest for positions are being taken now. Applications can be made via censusjobs.adecco.com.au.
It was good money and I really enjoyed it.
Natasha Kramer, 9 News.
Luke is back now with your weather. And Luke, what is the latest on those storms around tonight?
Well, the winds certainly picked up down here on the Gold Coast. Severe weather warning in place for all of southeast Queensland, in fact stretching up to Wide Bay this evening. The winds are gusting up around 50 kilometres an hour as we go to air tonight here on the coast, and the heaviest of the falls have been in the Darling Downs, but a slow moving system, so these showers will be with us for the next couple of hours. Pretty warm day today across the southeast. 28 was the top down here on the Gold Coast. Got up to 30 for the city, 31 for Ipswich, and 30 was the top for the Sunshine Coast. But if you have a look at the chart, all eyes on Tropical Cyclone Kimmy. It intensified today to a Category 2 system, and it is expected to continue to track south throughout the course of tonight. There's a chance it could cross the Queensland coast tonight or tomorrow, but also a better chance that it might begin to weaken out around Hinchinbrook Island overnight and then start to track north. Have a look around the country tomorrow. Showers on the way for Sydney. A top of just 19 for Melbourne, and up in the north some showers, a possible storm for the tropics. Back home, heavy rain for North Queensland. The heaviest of the fall is going to be around Townsville. Could see anywhere up to 140 millimetres. Those winds are gusting up around 130 kilometres with Tropical Cyclone Kimmy, and some showers and potentially storms for the west for both the Isa and Longreach. Further south, not a bad day along the Capricornia coast. They could see some showers through Wide Bay. In our neck of the woods, a high chance of showers for most areas. The heaviest will be down here on the Gold Coast. Could see up to 20 millimetres in the gauge, and temps pretty similar to what we saw today. Those winds will pick up throughout the course of the afternoon. Now for the city tomorrow, top in the early 30s and dropping down to around 22. And looking ahead, showers for our Tuesday and Wednesday, but thankfully a bit of sunshine heading our way later in the week. For Ipswich, a pretty similar outlook, only a slight chance of rain for your Tuesday though. And here on the Gold Coast, heavy rain tonight and again tomorrow, and then the showers beginning to ease from Wednesday. A pretty similar outlook for you on the Sunshine Coast as well. Now, although we've been getting a fair bit of rain around the southeast, we can't always hope to get it where we need it most, out around the dams. Our dam levels around southeast Queensland currently sitting at 57%. average water usage has dropped slightly to 158 litres per person per day. And a water-wise tip for today, don't forget to turn off the water when you're brushing your teeth, because that can save up to 5 litres per minute. So PT, heavy rain tonight, but all our thoughts obviously with everyone up in North Queensland, Tropical Cyclone Kimmy. All the best and fingers crossed that it doesn't cross land.
Thank you for that. Well, that is 9 News Queensland for this evening. Tracy's next with the current affair. Thanks for your company from all of us. Good night.